Hello everybody. I thought I'd do something different today. So no guitar lesson. I just thought it might be fun if I showed you my personal top 10 performances that are on YouTube from my various guitar heroes. Obviously yours will be completely different. This is a very personal one to me. These are little touchstones that I will always go back to in my life and watch and just marvel. So you might find it fun to watch the 10 videos that are linked in the description. And at the end of the video, I might talk about the surprising omissions that are not on my list, whether it's people that just go over my head or for whatever reason they're not on my list. Let's cock off. So let's kick off with number one. There's no specific order, by the way, it's just a random order. Rory Buchanan. I watch this video regularly as a kind of touchstone as my life goes on. To see him standing there like some sort of anti-rock star. He's not moving, he's the opposite of Mick Jagger. He just stands there, and the camera angle is amazing in this particular concert that I'll put a link to. And you can see everything he's doing. He's just got it all on show there. And he's just so bare. His guitar playing is so bare and so loud, there's nowhere to hide. I wonder if he was nervous being that exposed up there. And the bridge pickup on his Telecaster, I mean, the tone I can't replicate it, but that sort of... you could really make it scream, and then when he did all that kind of chicken picking, it was just out there. And I will always come back to watching that particular concert, and his Messiah will come again, same sort of thing. Just charming and so unique, and there'll never be anybody else like Roy. Tobias Hoffman. As you know, I talk about him all the time on my channel. I am guilty of feasting too much at his table. Whenever he burst into my musical life in the vintage Oldenburg guitar videos, with that red Jaguar that he happened to be playing in the video that I'm referring you to in the description, everything about how I see and play guitar significantly changed a bit when I saw Tobias. His use of chords, how he climbs up chords, how he goes down them, his use of diminished, his use of the tremolo arm, his vast knowledge, and yet so digestible and easy to digest. I just love Tobias Hoffman. I owe more to him of late than any other guitar player. Even little things like his humble appearance. He's not like rock star vibes. He doesn't seem to fancy himself as a rock star. He's just, and he's the way you do the pickup selector. You know how it's kind of vogue these days, when especially with a Les Paul, you play your bit fast and furious, and then you whack the selector really quick, and then you get into the next bit and you whack it back. He was the first player I ever saw that would play his thing and go with his fingertips on the selector, gentle. Very nice. I've never seen that before. So lots of little things about Tobias. I just love Tobias. And where would I be without half the licks I've feasted off him? Things like in his tremolo work. All Tobias. And how cheeky a way to spell it an E7. Watch this. Just beautiful. Just wonderful. Check him out. Robin Ford. I just watched this one again just to remind myself how incredible it is. Even if you don't like Robin Ford, fast forward to 3 minutes 15, which is when it's not so much the intro, it's the outro solo is just... It's Rock Palace 2007, Robin Ford at his absolute peak. Although the guy's still at his absolute peak, he's incredible. 2007, Rock Palace, Red 335, playing with an incredible... I've never watched a drummer so closely either. Drummer's incredible, I don't know who it is. And he's We know he's the king of weird and wonderful phrasing. We know he's the king of playing outside the expected blues pentatonic boxes. He's got the jazz thing, the tone thing, the extremely turn your guitar playing up to 10 in terms of heat, the sheer heat of his playing. I'm surprised his guitar doesn't start to smoke afterwards. He's just smoking. And this particular thing, and the band's playing something like A minor vamp, but then going to kind of B flat 13 sort of sound, and he's exploiting it all by doing things like this. I'll play kind of bits in slow motion. And what was that? Love it. All these weird outside licks that just lift you up and have you getting tense, and he drops you back. Oh my god, it's just this constant. And some of these licks are almost humorous. 3 minutes 15, do yourself a favour, watch Robin Ford set his guitar on fire. Fucking hell. Incredibly watchable. Eric Johnson. The video to which I refer you to is, of course, Austin, Texas, 1988. And I just watched it again to remind myself, why is it on my list? Fucking hell. Jesus. I've no words. By the time he blasts through this intro where he's just alone, no other instrumentation, just this sort of weird looper pad thing he's got going behind, and he blasts through, and your jaw's on the ground, and by the time you hit 2 minutes 15 and the song actually starts, this big smile breaks out on your face, and you're thinking, what was that? And there's been 1,000 analysis videos. We now kind of know what it was because people have analysed, and he's come on scene and told us what the concepts were. But it's like he just was a scientist coming out with these new concepts, perhaps. I don't know. So I haven't managed, but I suppose I have got some of his influence in my playing, the way he'll run up a chord. But he was the first person I ever heard explaining that you can play melodies like, imagine I'm in A, for example. This is one of mine, it's not one of his, but it's the same concept I want to play. Once again. Very do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, but with chords behind it. You get the idea, the concept. You can hear that in Cliffs of Dover. Again, this is my lick. His is way better than mine. Or arpeggiated run-up chords like. Things like that I've always wanted to get into my playing, but I've never really been good enough to do it justice. So I just do what I can. But anything that's not up to a certain standard I won't put out. And so there's been a hell of a lot of Eric Johnson attempts on my channel that just don't make the cut because I don't have the hardware, the fingers. Tom Bukovac, Uncle Larry. I was really there in the early days with Tom. By that I mean just before COVID. Obviously he was a well-known and successful session player, but he didn't really have much of a YouTube presence. And it was that Premier Rig Rundown. That's the video I'm referring you to. When I saw that, in a similar way to when I saw Tobias, it just blew me away. Here was this guy just sitting down with a toneful Gibson guitar, an SG Custom I think it was, playing in a way that I thought, just how dare you do that? It's got a guitar and an amp, a luscious sound and reverb, maybe a bit of delay, and he's just coaxing this brave, sexy bends, confident as hell. Not even perfectly played. There's the occasional dissonant note ringing out. Maybe it was even deliberate, but it was just, it's like he doesn't give a shit for being overly polished. It was just raw, gutsy and sexy, and I just thought, who the hell's this? And then of course COVID hit and he started doing some videos, and now we all know Uncle Larry. Go check the video out if you haven't already heard of Tom Bukovac. What a great intro into his thing. What a player. It's just I mean, all this kind of stuff that I sometimes play when I'm doing pedal demos, I'll sometimes play something like this, which is all kind of inspired or partially stolen from Tom. This kind of that kind of sexy way of spelling out seventh chord. So that's kind of all from Tom. Check him out, man. You can't avoid him. He's everywhere these days. But oh, if I was asked to name my favourite guitar player of all time, Mr. Nofler. I spent more time studying his every move than I've ever studied any guitar player. Granted, I was a young man at the time, young boy, and I had the time to devote to learning his every lick. It was the Alchemy period I liked the most, that, and then Brothers in Arms was just blew my mind. Local Hero, incredible. So I devoted all my energy to learning these licks. Telegraph Road is the track I've got you down for, just because it has so many different playing moods throughout it. The way he plays a lick and looks across to his bandmates like, you know, he's playing these great licks and able to, it just looks so cool. The headband and the stupid sweatbands like he's just off the tennis courts, but to me it was just the coolest thing ever. The way he held his Stratocaster. I'm not even a Strat guy, but oh my goodness. And the sort of the chicken picking and the... Loved all that suggesting notes rather than actually playing them. Go watch Mark Nofler. Steve Vai, I'm a big fan. His performance in 1996 For the Love of God, his main career track, performed part of the G3 tour. I'll put the link, and you'll be, if somebody told me, Paul, you must listen to this rock virtuoso shredder guy who plays an Ibanez with a speed neck, I'd be like, oh come on, please no. And if I pressed play, I'd be like, oh please make it stop. I hate that kind of playing. But honestly, this performance, the 0 minutes to 1:45, yeah, skip past that. I enjoy watching that, but I could see why within the first 1 minute 45 you think, oh Paul, he's just exactly what you've said. How can you like Tobias Hoffman and like this guy? But then this track actually starts at 1:45. Talk about building. It reminds me of architecture, the way he builds the track. The first, I mean, it's this lovely chord sequence, this kind of, where is that? It's outside. So it's a nice chord sequence to begin with. So it goes round the houses there, so it's a lovely melodic kind of thing. Verse 1, no vibrato. How can you play no vibrato? You just fucking... And then the sleight of hand is like, it's quite a unique thing. The way he slides, the amount of slides he'll go. But then he'll... Did you see that? He does it beautifully. Just the way he moves his digits and fingers is beautiful to watch. So there's that little sleight of hand, because he has to substitute that with that and not have the audience hear it. I can't do it very well. There you go, that was a perfect one. Because he now needs the pinky to slide. And don't tell him about, only could be more economical going that way. No, he needs to do these long slides. It's part of the song. Then verse 2, there's the vibrato comes in. Then he said, well, where are you going to take it now? You're just going to start shredding? No, he's going to do something else. And he builds, and each verse is built, and then he goes into moments of almost like the shreddy stuff. but then he doesn't stay there for long. He brings it back to this incredibly melodic hook. Then there's the theatre of it all. The way he moves his body around with the guitar, the way he can coax the perfect feedback at any different point. The one with 4 minutes and 6, he does sort of this big, and then he seems to throw. It's almost like he's taking a note and he physically throws the note away. He's obvious. He's got this sense of theatre about how he plays and how he wants to look on stage. And I'm watching, eating it up, thinking this guy's incredible. He's like a wizard, and just throws the note away. 4 minutes and 6. Watch that. 4 minutes and 6. 6 minutes and 2. Now we're 6 minutes into a song. You're thinking, oh, Paul, this is going to be terrible. Rock shredding for 6 minutes. No. And he plays this thing, and then he goes, big long lick, and he gets to this big low note, and he almost goes, and he points to it. I mean, you might watch it and think it's mindless, horrible, arrogant showing off, but the package is just, I just love watching Steve Vai, and each time he takes it to a new height, you think, well, you've shot your bullets now, Steve, where are you going to go now? And he comes in with it. It's like you've got Paul, I've got this huge bag of tricks. I'm going to keep bringing out new tricks for you. It's incredible. As you can tell, I'm incredibly enthusiastic talking about this performance. It's beautiful, it's theatrical, there's longing in it because of the chord sequence. Oh, what a performance of us. Wow. It's like a building, this song. It's like a building with all these different levels. Go watch it. Gary Moore. Just so aggressive, so beautiful, dynamically loud in your face, then cuts it right down to quiet, muted, playing out no words. The one that I'm referring you to is a 1990, is it? 1990 performance at the Montreux Jazz Festival, and it's Roy Buchanan's tune, The Messiah, which Roy Buchanan's version of one of my favourite tracks and one of my favourite YouTube performances of all time. How can you take that and potentially make it better or so different that it's still incredibly valid? It's a very different version. You've probably seen it. If you haven't, oh my goodness. What a tour de force. And Gary looked happy there. He looked really happy and pleased. I think Gary always knew he was great. He's got a bit of a reputation for kind of knowing he was great. But how can you not know you were great when you were Gary Moore? Just watch it. Incredible how loud and how quiet he is, all in the same verse sometimes. And I don't know, sometimes I'll go for a jog and I'll listen to Gary Moore. You get almost emotional thinking, God, he's not here anymore. And he's still making me smile. He's the reason I wanted a Gibson Les Paul. I mean, Carlos Santana, live in 1976 in London, playing Europa. I keep coming back to this as another kind of touchstone in my life. It's so raw and imperfect and weird. He's got the most weirdest, loveliest phrasing, Carlos Santana. I've never heard anybody phrase like Carlos Santana. His licks are kind of half chopped off where you don't expect them to be. A bit like Robin Ford, but nothing like each other. But they both seem to cut licks off at weird, inappropriate times that set you off on a weird angle, and you think, whoa, that's a strange time to cut the lick off, but it's so good. So although Robin Ford is maybe on the technical side of that, he just has this unusual phrasing. It's almost amateurish, and yet it just treads the line of being, oh, it's on the brilliant side. Any further left, it'd be amateur. But on the other flip side, it's just brilliant. And that's, to me, his playing is littered with stuff bending too sharp, and you think, oh, Carlos. But it wouldn't be Carlos if it wasn't just slightly, And I think the guy's some sort of weird genius. I love listening to Carlos Santana. So this particular performance, I find it so charming. I love hearing how sometimes he goes for feedback and it doesn't come. Damn it, I'll get it next time. And then he'll stand in a different place the next time and it comes, and he'll just hold the note for ever in this constant feedback loop. It's just such a nice demonstration of how old school people played guitar back then. Just a loud amp on stage, and it's just charming. I just find it such a lovely performance. So check out Europa. With no top 10 list of mine would be complete without Rory Gallagher. Specifically, the video I'm sending you to is the Irish Tour 1974, surprise, surprise, Walk on Hot Coals. Even if you don't watch all of it, go through to about 3 minutes, 3 minutes 15, and the band have had their wee blowout and everything quietens down as Rory can do, and he starts all this, it's in D minor, as a lot of some of his great tracks are, and he's like, he starts all that chicken picking type stuff, and all of this, I've got the wrong guitar, but all this bringing in, the track is littered with that kind of stuff from 3 minutes 15 in, and just a joy to watch. In fact, that's the word, joy. I can sit there with a cup of coffee and just watch that and smile, as a kind of a place where it all kind of started from. Raw music, guitar through a loud amp. It's kind of ironic because I don't play a guitar through a loud amp. I play all this kind of mamby-pamby quiet stuff in my bedroom. But what a joy it is to go back and watch that. So that was my very personal list. It'd be good to hear what your recommendations are. I'm sure it'll be very different to mine. Might be fun to watch some of your videos if you put a link in the comments. Maybe that'll branch me out of my little rut that I'm in with Tobias Hoffman. Some surprising omissions, Jeff Beck, one of my huge heroes, but I just couldn't see, there's not a particular video that I always go back. He's got that much on YouTube. Everything's a delight, but there's not a particular video that I see as a touchstone. Hotel California, I mean, that's my favourite guitar solo of all time, hands down. But again, it tends to be I listen to the record more than watch the YouTube clip. Then some players that maybe they're your favourites, I won't insult them, but they just go over my head. Jimmy Page, didn't get them. David Gilmour, over my head. Jimi Hendrix, over my head. What can I say? You're probably going to shoot me now. But these players obviously are clearly wonderful because you all like them, but I've never got into them at all. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the vid, and I'll see you on the next one where normal service will be resumed. Bye for now.